So fine, we have in the chat box lots of areas why businesses fail. Just to summarize: bad financial management, business is becoming irrelevant, too much planning and poor execution, failure to adapt, poor management decisions, no sustainable profits, poor management, bad teamwork, reluctance of businesses to change, lack of leadership, mismanagement of cash flow, inability to create value for the customer, poor culture, business culture in the organization, lack of discipline, lack of vision, failure to adapt, lack of demand of product and services, then no proper research. I definitely want current areas of research that you think that businesses need to do. So that's an answer I'll be waiting for. Which are the areas of research that every business must continue doing as a habit on an ongoing basis? Emergence of substitutes, then lack of customer understanding, poor employee handling, diverting from the most relevant needs of the consumers, competition, changing market dynamics, miscommunication, incompetence to stay updated with latest market trends, and innovation. Again, areas of innovation I'm going to deep delve into. So whoever is talking about innovation, in fact, the entire class should start putting up the areas of innovation, which is again, very important. So please, then identifying gaps in the market. Start with identifying a problem persistent in a business environment, trying to solve problems which no one has. Identification of customer needs and the gaps in the market. So what we're trying to essentially, you have tried to put down a very impressive list of reasons why businesses fail. Now, having understood that these reasons, plus there are some more, of course, when we're talking about building the company. So it's not just the cash management, it's the overall planning of businesses and prioritizing, what should be taken on top priority, the investments priority, the market expansion priority, the product planning priority, investing in new products. So the basket of products. So which products should come first and which should come later? Which market should come first and which market should come later? So you need to create some kind of plan in which the company starts generating cash, and there is a good balance of investments, management, and internal generation, etc. So it's like you should maintain your equilibrium during the scale-up process. If you lose your equilibrium, then things go wrong. And to maintain the equilibrium, a lot of things have to be done. So let's just stay in that thought that we're talking about why businesses fail. So which are the areas that we need to have in focus? Suppose if the business, and you were the CEO and you were the pilot of this aeroplane called business, and if I was to ask you which controls you should be really looking at as the pilot, okay, on an ongoing basis, then what are those going to be? Please put up on your chat box that these are going to be, if I was the CEO of a company, then these are going to be the priority. Give the priority, 1, 2, 3. What are the priorities? Just give me the top 3 priorities as a CEO. You are the pilot of this aeroplane called business, whichever business that you are handling. Profitability, growth, and sustainability of business model. Okay, thank you, Akshay. I want more people to chat. This chat is also getting recorded. Your class participation is getting marks. Okay, and if you are not putting up on chat in the entire lecture, you are going to get 0 as class participation, just by way of evaluating you. Okay. Innovation. Prasad, I want you to be more specific when we talk about innovation, areas of innovation. Which are the areas of innovation? Customer value addition. Thank you. Scale and profitability. Yes. What are the areas? I want more people to put their ideas in the chat box, please. Consistent year-on-year growth, value creation, timely implementation, profitability growth and sustainability, genuine customer need and assessing customers' ability and willingness to pay for it, innovation in technology, company meeting its objective, profitability, sustainability, culture. I want to understand, this culture word is coming twice. What do you understand by culture? What culture are we talking about? And which people are we talking about? Customer preference, getting right people on board, workplace synergy, innovation and profitability, a sustainable long-term plan, optimized usage of resources, customer satisfaction, research on associated products in the product line to improve profit and reduce production costs of new products. See, always remember it's products into markets that creates wealth. So products meaning the market share in the is therefore very important. When you're talking about market share, therefore the competition comes in, right? So anything that you plan, you cannot lose sight of two things. One is the customer needs, second is the competition. So clear vision, customer centricity, staying relevant, customer segments, value proposition, revenue streams, innovation, adaptability, customer centricity, employees growth, customer centricity, human resources of company, and optimization, creating value for product or services, profitability, effective leadership. Again, it all starts with what? What does it start with? A business idea, what does it start with? The business plan process. As an entrepreneur, I want to make money and I have an idea. So the first step is what? Should be what? Vision and mission. Before vision and mission, when you're talking about the business idea per se, what should be the first filter that it must pass? Defining the problem. Sunil, thank you. Identifying the problem, of course. Identifying and defining the problem, right? So every product is actually a solution. Every service is a solution. And solution can be effective only after you've understood the problem. So identifying and defining the problem. So what we call in our terms is value proposition. And you can identify several problems and then you can provide several solutions. You can market it as one bunch. You can market it as several products, a basket of products and services. But definitely, whatever be your proposal should be a proposed solution for the consumer so that consumer buys. They don't buy product, they buy solutions. People don't buy services, they buy solutions. They buy benefits. So your segmentation as an entrepreneur of any product, benefit segmentation will always help you get clear vision. Because vision and mission will get derived out of what is it that you are trying to propose as a solution, right? So in chronology of events and steps, the first thing is What have you identified as a problem? How many people are having that problem? Is that a sizable market that you can create? Is that good enough wealth that you can create by solving this problem? Who are these people who are having these problems? Where do they exist? Right? And why should you be in that business? Okay, because a lot of the times which has not come up in your reasons for failure is that people decide to start businesses just because the problem is there and they have the solutions. But I can tell you, and you'll be surprised, that a majority of these businesses fail because there is potential to make wealth, but the pleasure of doing business is not received by the entrepreneurs because they are not really designed for that kind of business. So one of the things is that every entrepreneur has his personality type. I'm giving you my personal example. I started import-export business because single reason I've told you in one of the lectures is I loved international travel. Now, someone who doesn't like international travel is scared of traveling. There are a lot of people who don't want to fly or don't want to fly very frequently, or they can't put up with different time zones, jet lags, etc. Not that they can't make money in that business, it's just that they don't enjoy doing that business. And you know that a lot of the time success doesn't come because people don't enjoy doing what they're doing. So the first myth that need to be busted is you first have to be happy doing that business as an entrepreneur. You have to be happy solving that problem. And when you are happy solving that problem, then you stop looking at the watch while working on it. And a lot of the businesses that don't succeed at times are not because the ideas were not good, but because the people behind them were not really designed for enjoying that kind of problem solving. So make sure that whatever business, now this goes, if you're joining companies, etc., and you are going to become wealth creators within those companies, then you have to ensure that that industry is really to your liking, that kind of business expansion or product that you are handling is to your liking. The moment everything starts fitting into your liking, you start enjoying it, the success is just a byproduct after that. Okay, and if that is not existing, then make sure that you try and get into first a comfortable zone in which you start enjoying doing what you're doing, right? Or what you picked up as an idea. So after you have made up your mind that yes, this is what I will enjoy, then comes problem identification, problem solving, value proposition, consumer needs analysis. What is it that the consumer wants? What is it that the competition is offering? Okay, so it all starts with these two things. And you have to be better than what the competitor is offering. It's a simple, common sense step, right? If you are giving something which the competition is also giving, sure enough, market is big and growing, you will continue to get your share of business. But if you have to create a fail-safe business plan, that's where innovation comes in. Then innovation has to be in your product design, in your service design, and in the offering in general, so that you create a better consumer experience. Underline the word consumer experience. Because now we are moving on to not just satisfying the needs, but better the experience of consumer in consuming the product or service, the better will be your market share. The better will be your sustainability. The lower challenges will be in the scalability. Because now we come to the thumb rules. That means a continuous acquisition of new customers and retaining all the customers, high retention rate is what an entrepreneur aims for. That's your goal on a day-to-day basis. I have to acquire new customers today and I have to continue to retain all those I have already acquired. The third is how to ensure that is by giving them a better experience as compared to the competitors. So that means if I was to ask you that if you were the pilot of a business, then you were to have the control, then continuously your focus is going to be on the consumer experience with the competitors' offerings. Because that gives you a lot of insights on how you can make your product better. Plus, of course, your continuous focus on consumer experience with your offerings. Third, what are the still areas for consumer gratification, additional areas of consumer gratification? If you focus only on these three things, and competitor substitutes also come in. For me, substitutes are competitors. And as long as my consumer experience is better, then I am going to be having an ever-growing business where the profits, sustainability, etc. is there. So if I was to find out the backbone as an entrepreneur, as a wealth creator, to succeed in making profits sustainably, then that is excelling in consumer experience as a company, which is better than competitor. Simple, nothing else. Now, in order to do that, you have to innovate. You have to have cost management. You have to have people management, right? You have to have funds management, cash flows management, shareholders management, suppliers management, employees management, right? So all those things are now naturally getting effortlessly uncovered, the areas of focus. So then it comes down to a different business plan. But in each business, there are some things that make or break your business. In each business, right? So if you are in, let's say, automobile repair business, then how quickly you identify the problem, solve the problem, and at what cost to the consumer, right? Can you pick up the cars from where people are? Now you see Mercedes and BMWs, all these premier brands, they're competing. The only area of focus is who is giving better consumer experience when it comes to after-sales service. Even the process of buying, right from the time that if I start prospecting, so there's a pre-sale. What is the pre-sale experience that they are creating to the potential consumer during the sale and after sale? Now, these are the areas where you can excel as a company. And if you created a great experience, your customer acquisition will be faster with much lower cost. And the post after sale experience is a great after sale experience, and during the sale experience, that gets you a word of mouth publicity, right? So continuously focusing on customer gratification is what is going to help you retain customers, and these customers themselves will spread word of mouth about you, and you will have an ever-growing population of new potential customers coming to your doorstep. And then, of course, the process of providing them the pre-sale experience, which they should like, and then become your customers. And if this process goes on an autopilot, you are going to be, what I say, a habitual wealth creator. It's all about where keeping your priorities right. So what I want to therefore start with today is something which we call as business plan canvas, where first of all, I want to understand if we have 142 students, right? And have you guys made groups? Because whatever we are going to be doing now, I would like you to start applying on any B plan, which is any idea that you have. How many of the students in this class have sometime or the other thought of doing or thought of a business idea? Doing or not doing, forget, but thought of a business idea. Can you please raise your hand? Can you turn on your videos, everyone? Okay, I'm not going to ask you to turn on videos again, but take a quick screenshot because I like to have a very interactive session. Huh? Please turn on your videos. Just take the screenshots, mark everyone absent who's not, whose videos are not on.
Yes, sir.
Group. Next 1 minute. And people whose videos are not on get 0 for today's session. Dhruv, just tell me after whoever's taking the screenshots, please. Ajit Rajput, roll number 106. Are you there? Dikshit Kumar Jain. All these guys are absent. They'll get 0 for today's session. Please tell them. Don't even bother calling me to say, sir, my network was not there or not there, or this was not there. You have chance to call me on my landline in next 1 minute.
Done, sir.
Okay. Done. All right. Just make a list of these people whose videos are not on. Let me see how many of you are. Gosh. Almost 2 screens. Proud of you guys. Let me see how they pass. Okay, guys, let's do some serious work. I'm looking for anyone who has, first of all, we have to create groups of maybe 4 or 5 people, 4 to 5. And you will have to actually think of a business idea and we will develop the business plan for that idea. And before you go, April is when the director wants to have you guys plan and present the business plan, right? So you will have about 1.5 months to actually do what was done on 19th of February. Okay. And remember one thing, you have to still pass this course in order to get your certificate, right? And so you get your employment. So don't think that abhi to job mil gaya to abhi everything. There are a lot of people जिनको हर साल job मिल जाता है पर 1-2 केस में बेचारे फेल हो जाते हैं और life goes for a 6. So don't make that mistake. All right, your degree is not yet done. So there are things that you have to do, and this course definitely, and this B plan you will have to create. And I like to create groups. So how soon can we create groups? Who is do we have what, 3 CRs here? And you should create actually cross-functional groups if possible, so that we get some cross-functional expertise coming into the B plans. One thing I want to tell you is that even if you are joining the corporate world, tomorrow thinking out of the box, etc., is going to happen when you are honing your skills by doing things. Okay, so this course is not about writing an exam. None of the courses that I take are about writing the exam. Exams are just this thing for the university formality for me. Most of my evaluation gets done before the exam. And for you also the same thing is going to happen, right? So we are going to create B plans, actual B plans, which you will be presenting. And there's two-minute video that each group will have to present as a business idea and how you're going, why that business idea is great. Okay. So how soon can we create, by next Thursday, can we have the groups done? 4 to 5 people. We are, I think, 140 people. Right. So that,
Yes, sir. It can.
yeah. I want you to enjoy doing this. Okay. And at the end of this exercise, you would have really gotten those abilities to look at any business. And if somebody tells you that how to do that business, you should be able to at least identify areas that need to be critically analyzed in scaling up that business. That skill I want to impart to you. Okay, so that you can sit as investors in any startup. You could be looking at a startup and you should be able to look at all the critical areas of that business success and why that business will succeed or not. You should be able to identify that empowerment I want to give you, and you should be able to do it comprehensively. Okay, this will happen after we study the business canvas and we apply the concepts learned on business canvas. And what Chaya ma'am is doing for you is you are doing already those case studies, etc., of say very, very successful businesses. And the concepts that I'm going to be teaching you in the business canvas, you have to apply to those case studies, right? And identify how those businesses have created wealth on a sustainable basis as well as respect. And similarly, if you have your own idea, you could take up maybe your prospective employer and maybe come out with a new product idea for that employer. If anybody is joining a cosmetics company, whatever products that company is in, you could come out with your own idea of another product. Okay. And then create a B plan for that product. So it need not be a business that you want to do with your own investment. It could be a business idea for the company that you are going to be very soon joining in. So I'm just giving you ideas on how to hone your skills as a wealth creator. Right? So those of you, of course, majority of you are going in for consulting companies. Suppose if my company comes to you and you are the consultant and I say, okay, now I want to grow at 20%, you suggest to me which businesses I should be going in. So don't think as a consultant, you don't have to think about being an entrepreneur or wealth creator. Consultants I think a lot of the times they have to think of being the good wealth creator themselves, not just a wealth creator, but wealth manager also, and wealth analyzer also, and business analysts also. Okay, so your job is actually going to demand a lot of virtues from you, which I think doing this particular assignment will develop. Okay, so any questions on the project so far? This has to be done. You will have to present in the same format of February 19th function, and this will be a JBIMS function. Directors already told us. So you all have to present that. And I know many of you are going to pass out 2 years, 3 years down in your careers, and you will say that, sir, now I have a business idea, now I have created a team and I have 3 people, I want to come and I want to present my B plan. It just happened the other day. Last week itself, I was discussing with your 2-year senior a potential B plan which he has created. Okay. And then we invited him for that 19 February session, but unfortunately his B plan was not ready for presentation on that day. Sanmit, thank you.
So there is a call regarding placements. That's why I had to take it out.
Oh. Tell them to call by after 2 o'clock. Okay. Because placements will happen after you pass this course. And if they have happened, they will not happen if you don't pass this course. So some discipline has to come in. We are still students and we have to pass, and we are not still given you a stamp that you can go ahead. So please, when we in these classes, I want, whenever I ask you to switch on the videos must come. Otherwise, I'm preparing my list and we will make sure that no faulty products from my assembly line. Okay. Keep your videos on, please, everyone. So therefore, I'm just going to start my screen sharing, and we will. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, so as an entrepreneur myself, I have always, over the last 35 years, in any situation, developed this ability to answer 6 questions. These 6 questions I sleep with, I breathe in any situations. Okay, in any business situation or any problem solving situation, innovation that we talked about, cost that we talked about, cost management, and customer service excellence. These are the 3 areas that I tell all my colleagues, CEOs to just focus on. And you are done. Okay. And those of you who have been part of international marketing, we have done those basic 3, the Trinity, as I call it. Okay. So when you are having any business idea, you are into a situation where you are thinking of which business, maybe as a consultant, your customer should get in. Your customer comes to you and says, hey, I want you to do my business audit. Tell me how I can grow my business by 20%. What kind of virtues you need to do that as a consultant? And what would you do? Since 55% of you have placed in consultancy, can you tell me? I want you to speak up, not chat. Who's got the best job in consultancy? 48 lakhs wala kaun hai? मिसिंग है, लॉक करके चला गया. कौन है? Who's the 48 lakhs guy? What's his name? Her name? His name? That's the highest, na? Package. Okay, who can I interact with? Dhruv. Sanmit.
Yes, sir. I think Accenture strategy people have got the highest placements.
Accenture.
Yeah.
Strategy.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and how many they took?
They took 8 people. I mean, total 8 people, I guess, are placed in Accenture strategy.
Hmm.
And Accenture sales also. So there are about 11 people in total.
Congratulations. Very, very good. So they're all in 48 lakhs package?
So it's best you ask the people who got placed in Accenture, because they know the exact breakup of the entire.
That's okay, but they are the highest, right? Accenture is the highest paying company this year. Okay, who have gotten jobs with Accenture? Who have been placed? Yes, 3 participants raised hand. Just speak with me. Surabhi.
Yes, sir.
Surabhi, what's your background, beta?
I'm a software engineer, sir, with WorkX at Capgemini.
Okay, and Prateek, what's your background?
Sir, I'm an electrical electronic engineer from VIT, and I am a fresher, sir.
You're a fresher. Okay.
Yeah.
So who was the third one? Prateek, Surabhi, and
Saloni.
who's the third person?
It's me, Saloni.
Salome. Yeah, Salome. So what's your background?
So I have completed a Bachelor of Management Studies from HR College of Commerce and Economics.
Okay, so all 3 of you are freshers, right? Surabhi?
No, sir, I worked with Capgemini as an Oracle application developer
Achha, you
on
did.
Oracle ERP.
Okay, okay. Chalo, let's play some real life situations. Huh? Now 3 of you. Now I got a star. I am a venture capitalist. So 3 of you. So I got 1,000 crores to invest. Right? Which are the businesses that you would recommend looking for exploring in the startup space? You know, this question is to the entire class, but the answers will be led by our 3 super consultants from Accenture, Prateek, Surabhi, and Salome.
Probably electric vehicles.
Electric vehicles, okay.
Something related to e-commerce.
Something related to e-commerce, okay. What else? So Prateek,
Yes, sir.
I want you to create a group with you of your friends, 4 of them, okay, and come up with a B plan for electric vehicles. As a consultant, huh? This is your first assignment from Accenture.
Okay, sir.
And Surabhi, you said e-commerce.
Saloni said, sir.
Salome said.
Yes, sir. It was me.
Okay, Salome. So you come up with a B plan for e-commerce.
Sure,
And
sir.
let's say Flipkart comes to you and says that, look, I'm not growing as I want to. Huh? And there are many more also. You can take any company and come up with a strategy on how they can create profits, sustainable profits, valuation. Huh? What is it that they are not doing that they should start doing, or what will be your areas of recommendations, list of recommendations for them? Pick up any company that is not doing well, which is perhaps dying like a blackberry. And you know that death is written on the cards. Huh? Surabhi, what's your idea?
So something related to automation, like the smart home system that we had even on the 19th February. There was one startup, Aristay Technologies, so which was also featured on Shark Tank India. So even they had this idea of smart homes. So something related to that, something
Okay.
related to IoT.
Okay. Can you come up with a B plan which is close to your heart, or improve on theirs? Okay, with your
Surely,
group.
sir, we would think on this.
Huh?
Surely, sir, we would take it forward, sir.
Okay. I want you to love and enjoy this journey, okay? Because this is what is going to happen tomorrow. You all want to give a better performance and get better evaluated by your prospective bosses tomorrow, then this is your chance to hone those skills. Okay? And rest of the class, whatever job you have got with whichever company, look at their product line, and simple goal is that you plan a new product offering or service offering for that company which they are not into right now. And one thing I tell you is that if you develop these virtues in you and these qualities in you, your journey towards becoming a CEO is going to get accelerated like crazy. And that's what you all want. And this course will make that happen. So whatever time is remaining on campus, I want to tell you, please now utilize, if at all that there is one course that's going to put you on a very fast track to becoming a CEO, is this. So don't get into that mind frame कि मेरे को job मिल गया अभी वो पास होना है, नहीं वो मत करना. अगर वो कर लिया तो तुम नौकरी तो ज्वाइन कर लोगे, लेकिन फ्यूचर जो 4 साल है उसमें जो अकम्प्लिश करना है वो शायद 8 साल में करोगे. दिस इज माय गारंटी. और अगर ये कोर्स में तुमने ये अच्छा कर लिया और पूरा पैशन डाल के अच्छा ग्रुप बना के, it all starts with team building. Now this is what I'm telling you, your actual story begins now. Create a team and think about a business idea that is relevant. You all said irrelevant business idea. And relevant for what? Relevant for the next 2 decades minimum, 3 maybe. Threat of substitutes. Analyze which substitutes will cut short your business life cycle. This is a hands-on assignment. And if you did it with passion, I can promise you that what you would have achieved in 2030, you will achieve by 2025. Is my guarantee, written guarantee I'm giving. लिखवा के आके मेरे से साइन करा के ले लेना, but I want you to do this with full commitment. And take it up as an assignment which your prospective employer wants you to do, not me. Okay? So, how many CRs do we have in the class? 3?
It's me and Dhruv as of now.
Okay, so Dhruv is there today?
So Dhruv had joined, but he's facing some network issues, sir. He'll be joining shortly.
Because last, I think, lecture also Dhruv was missing.
So no, Dhruv was there last time.
He was there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so between you and Dhruv, I want you to create for 28 groups, 5 people,
Yes, sir.
and 28 different business ideas. First come, first serve. So if you have a business idea, 28 leaders I want, they can create their groups. And if there are more leaders, great. I don't mind having 2 people in the group. But passionately And I will guide you through it personally, because we'll have to fix time. And this business idea, if it happens to be your own, which you want to do, my lifelong association with you guarantee that I will handhold you through a path where even venture capitalists we will get, money we will get, provided you have a absolute passion to execute that business idea for yourself. Okay, and if you don't want to do that, it's just an academic exercise, that's fine too. But I can tell you that will accelerate your path to becoming a CEO in any organization, the one that you are joining or the one that you are going to join next or the one next thereafter. Okay, but do this assignment very, very thoroughly with full dedication and devotion. Direction we will give. Ma'am is there, I am there, I'll give you. And prepare yourself for this April big day event, which is likely to be one full day. We are designing for JBIMS students, everyone who's doing entrepreneurship course. It is mandatory for each group to present. The world is watching, even director is watching. Okay, and they're going to be outside experts. So you are going to be holding the flag of JBIMS and telling the world this is JBIMS. And this is also a brand building exercise that we are doing for JBIMS, that, hey, this campus creates wealth creators, not just wealth managers. So you have a job to do. Being a product of JBIMS, you have a job to do now. So please do it seriously. We have high hopes from you. Okay. So by next Thursday, first of all, can we create a group? We are 150 people. We can create a group, right?
Yes, sir, we can.
Let's create a group, because this year is a very different year in the history of JBIMS. Our current director also is very passionate about entrepreneurship. And everyone, whether it is a corporate world or on campus, visiting faculty, full-time faculty, everyone is realizing that going forward, we have to create our very strong positioning as the JBIMS Management Institute, which is different from the competition. And we are talking to Babson for, collaboration. And Babson, is one of the top colleges in the world for entrepreneurship. So your support will be needed, and this benefit only you are going to get when you become part of the corporate world tomorrow, when JBIMS positioning becomes very strong. If anyone in the corporate world wants to look for people to be groomed as future CEOs or future product managers or future business development managers, then they should think of JBIMS, because this is the institute that creates, empowers, hones the skills of their students as wealth creators. And that's the positioning. The entire faculty under the leadership of the current director and along with support from the students. And that's the reason why people from outside who are non-JBIMS are being brought in, because we want you to feel the energy. We want you to feel part of this whole job creators priority that nation has, that Prime Minister is talking about, that we need more job creators, not only job seekers. Right? And this is where now national priorities and our institute, whatever is trying to do, they have to sink in. 1 second. Huh? I just have to right? So by next Thursday, we will have the list of groups with the business idea. Let it be your own. And let's try and start looking at how we will go about creating the business plan. All right. Any questions so far? No questions? All right. So like we said, the first step, conceiving, planning, and growing a business. What are the basics? Of course, when you create a plan, there is a definite reason why we want to do it. Obviously, there is an unsolved problem there. The consumers are looking for a solution. So your detailed answer to why. Last session, if you remember, we did all those skills that are needed to become a successful wealth creator. Detailing was one of them. Now, when we are answering questions on why we want to do that business, the detailing has to be there. Okay. Consumer problem is there. Why? Detailing has to be there. Competitor offering not good enough. Why? Your additional whatever value proposition has to be there. Then what products and services? So you have to give a brief of what is it that you are trying to bring in as a solution, right? Why has already been answered. What, and that what must answer all the questions to why, right? If you are saying that, okay, there is a problem for dandruff in the hair, so what you are bringing in and how that is going to solve and how that is the best solution. So you understand? So these are all different chapters, okay, of your executive summary. So people ask me, sir, वो 2-minute video में क्या करना है? 2-minute video में यही करना है. This first slide is for your 2-minute video about your business plan. ठीक है? Any questions? Okay. Then comes the detailing. Why this product or service? Why this consumer segment? Or why this market segment? I mean, when I say market, meaning I'm going geographically. Are we talking about India, within India, which market? Are we talking about which cities or south, north, wherever? And why technology? If you've chosen technology, then why that technology? Why this machinery? Why these employees? Where you are going to hire those employees, of course, and why these suppliers? See, your employees and suppliers are critical partners. When you talk about the human element in a business, then your employees are the most critical partners you start with, and suppliers are after that. If businesses fail, is because people fail. It's not the ideas. All ideas are good. Some ideas become irrelevant because of new technologies. So those ideas are bad. Ideas that have lived their lifeline. Okay. But if ideas are relevant and still businesses have failed, then it is because people have failed. Always remember that. So you have to focus on people. Actually, most entrepreneurs, most wealth creators, they don't become wealth creators is because they don't focus on people. People in the corporate world, why they don't grow to the CEO slot is because they are not able to handle people. They're not able to manage people. They're not able to lead people. They are not able to get respect from their colleagues. And this is one major factor that you will have to hone your skills at, is in managing people and creating respect for you in that people. That's where in the last presentation I said your ability to speak up. Start practicing in the class. Whenever I am asking you questions, please immediately answer. because your ability to speak up is not going to develop tomorrow in the corporate world. It is all practice. When you start speaking up, your mind starts triggering ways to summarize in the most possible effective manner. So your communication skills become better when you speak up. And then you know that, have I been effective in conveying the message? Or have I been ineffective? If you are ineffective, you will never become a leader. So what you are doing in the classroom as a habit, actually, I want to tell you, is very important. Because this is the way it's just going to carry it forward. And then if you are first time going to open your mouth in the corporate room, you know you are not going to be the best. Who's going to present better in the shortest, crisp form is the person who has been speaking in the classroom, who's been practicing. If you want to start speaking up after joining the corporate world, then there are people who are going to supersede you. Because your mind is still learning how to organize the thoughts. So these skills are what actually create a life of abundance. Not what you are good at, or A grade इसमें आ गया, A grade उसमें आ गया, A plus उसमें आ गया, CGPA इतना बन गया. Great. Toppers of our batch are not the ones who are doing the best. And I'm talking about JBIMS also, BITS Pilani also, and even IITs also. Getting marks is not, it's your other personality skills, how you have shaped up. Okay. Those are the ones that count. Do people listen to you? Do they respect you? Are you a habitual leader in any given situation? Those are the ones that are going to determine that your JBIMS degree, is it going to create a back office manager out of you, or a leader or a CEO out of you? And as you can see, people in the leadership positions are very few, and the reasons are because they don't develop the skills that I talked about in the last session. And that link have I shared with you of the last lecture? Did I share the link of the last lecture with you? It's there on YouTube already, our last lecture.
Okay, sir.
Have I shared?
No, sir, you have not shared.
Okay. Okay, I will. That's because we have not created a group. Once you create the group, I'll start giving you links of the lectures. So those of you who have missed the lectures, please don't. You still have opportunity to go through those presentations. And that presentation of the last lecture, I can tell you, keep on coming back to that presentation, because if you want to grow in the corporate world tomorrow, you will need all those 30 skills. And each of those skills, if you start developing right now, is going to do, you will be doing yourself a great favor, because that's what is going to accelerate your growth. Okay. So when we're talking about conceiving a business, these 6 golden questions you need to create micro detailing, okay, about the business. Okay, why and what and who and how and when and where. The more detailing you do of these, the better is going to be your business plan. Okay. So what is the potential? What is the business model? When you're talking about potential, that means you're talking about target consumers, who they are, what is their consumption, how much is the potential of business, how many competitors are there, what percentage market share you can expect. So you have to actually start quantifying. What is the business model, right? You have to see what are the competitors' business model, why you have to create a business model which is better than theirs, right? What supply chain, what are the deadlines? So answers to what? Deadlines is something that people forget about. And that's the reason things don't get done. And why competitors they overcome all the challenges faster is because we have not set deadlines, but the competitor has. So deadlines are very important. What are the strategies for both survival and growth and scale up, right? With time deadlines. This all should come in your business plan, right? Who are your stakeholders? Who's your consumer? Who's your critical channel partner? Okay, channel partner is a partner in the link of doing this entire business. He could be a distributor, wholesaler, he could be your digital marketing partner. So these are all the partners who will help you succeed. You have to make a list of them, and you have to ensure that you have hired the best, right? Because again, the quality of people associated with the business, they decide how to execute the business idea. If we say that businesses fail because of poor execution, that means whoever is behind the execution, which is invariably either employees or suppliers or your other channel partners. So it's like a chain, right? The weakest link in the chain will make or break the chain. So higher the quality of these channel partners, higher the quality of the employees, higher the quality of suppliers, the better is going to be your chances of success. So when you're creating a business plan, you have to focus on those strategies in how you are going to recruit the best employees and suppliers and other stakeholders, any other channel partners, and who are going they. And why? So not the cheapest is not always the best. So people have to work with each other. So they have to enjoy working with it. So when teams are created, there has to be harmony in the teams. So teams meaning a supplier and a company also create a team. If you want to innovate, your supplier must innovate also. You have to share the culture. That's why, which are the areas of innovation in the business? You have to, as a CEO, as a wealth creator, identify them. Every business, whether you're talking about e-commerce business or there are areas of business innovation. And innovation, ma'am is going to be, I think, taking a separate session on innovation itself. What is a good innovation? Okay, so all that is going to be covered as basic concepts, but you have to apply when you're starting to work on a business idea for B plan presentation. Okay. Next is how will I manufacture? How will I distribute? Create competitive edge? How will I raise funds and repay my liabilities? How will I respond to likely disruptions? When do I launch the product or service? When do I scale up? When do I enter global markets? When do I invest in R&D? When do I go for public offering, IPO planning, etc.? Everything. You see Nykaa, you see all these different IPOs that you have seen in the recent past, right? Imagine that if you were conceiving a business plan, then how you would go about, and these are some of the skills that you will be required even in your jobs tomorrow, right? Where do I find talent? Okay, employees, suppliers, raw materials, capital and machinery. Where do I sell? Where do I go to raise capital? Where do I go to source technology and machinery? These are some of the questions under each of the headings, not comprehensive by any chance, right? Then this is those of you who are from finance understand this better, but equally important to all the other streams. There's something called operating cycle, right? Every business has an operating cycle. You start with cash. Cash gets converted to raw materials get converted to finished goods get converted to receivables, and receivables come back to cash. Now, the faster this cycle, right? The faster you are going to be, the higher are going to be your annual profit, right? Shorter this cycle, higher the annual profit. That means more times you have rotated. So if you have, let's say 6 cycles in a year, and in each cycle you are making 10% profit, right? So you are compounding at the rate of 10% 6 times, whatever that figure comes to. And this monitoring of the cycle for the wealth creator is very, very important. And don't let any inefficiencies come in. So which means inventories of raw material or finished goods or your receivables, they have to be monitored very well in order for the businesses not to face any cash crunch and those kind of reasons that you identified were the reasons for failures of businesses, right? And what I have tried to do is to basically, and this is what I have practiced in my international businesses, and I teach that, and I'm very passionate because they have worked. They keep on working year after year in all scalability of businesses. And what is this principle? One is, first is just focus on people, first get the right kind of people. If you see Reliance, I mean, they've gone from different businesses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they go on adding businesses. There are a lot of other companies around the world who have a knack of going on adding businesses, deploying the capital in profitable businesses and making success of each business. And that's the kind of management professionals that we want to create also, right out of you guys. Just give them money. They'll put it in an idea, they'll execute the idea, they'll have the right people. It all starts with people. And then second is you creating the emotional connect in your business with the human element. Wherever these human element is the energy points of businesses. If a business was a human body and I was to identify the nerve centers, okay, in this body, then they are people. So it starts with, and these people must feel connected with the business, with the company, with the supplier. That means a business is an employer, a business is a company, and a company is a supplier of a product or services. So business is also wearing several hats, and a business is also a company which is also an investment opportunity for the shareholders. So it's the same business, but wearing separate hats for different people. For employees, it is an employer. For customers, it is a supplier of goods and services. For shareholders, it is a company they have invested in. But all these are people. And all these people have to have a very strong connect. And if that is ensured, suppose you build a company where no customer you are losing. What kind of company are you creating? A sustainable, profitable company. But can you create that situation where employees are changing continuously? The answer is no. If employees are changing continuously, there's no way you can have customers who are stuck to the company. Why? Because every time the customer is coming, he's dealing with a different person. So if you have to have a continuous flow of customers who come in, acquire, you get acquired and retained, then the employees have to be also acquired and retained. No way you can create one without the other. So if I was to say these nerve centers, which are the people, then the only thing that you need to create as a wealth creator is a very strong bond of these people that they are continuously getting acquired and they are getting retained. Now, if you look at Google, Amazon, Unilever, Procter and Gamble, those kind of companies. Most of these companies, they hire from within. They don't hire from outside. All the top positions go to people who have stayed for years together with the company. They get first chance. Of course, if the company is getting into new areas, then the people who come from outside also, because they want experts. So company like Reliance, etc., who are getting into different businesses like Reliance Retail, etc., they are getting into hiring employees from who are experts in those areas from outside. But again, the performers are rewarded and they are bonded with the company. Non-performers are not rewarded and they have ways to throw them out also. So what is it that therefore becomes a very important success formula is that these nerve centers of the business, who are all living people full of emotions, energies, competencies, they have to be filtered, hired, rewarded in time, and punished on time also. And so that these employees, they continuously keep acquiring customers who also are retained by these same very employees. They keep delivering that customer gratification, which helps in ever increasing population of customers and ever increasing market share, beating the competition on a consistent basis in terms of not percentages, but at least this value of businesses, right? So if the industry itself is expanding at a much higher rate, then you are acquiring customers at a rate higher than the industry growth. Great situation to be in. Okay. But this scale up process in businesses where you are growing from 100 crores to 200 crores in a matter of 2 years is a very critical, because those are the exponential graph, that portion in which there is so much pressure on the human resources of a company that people will be required to work overtime, they will be required to put in that extra effort, they will require to make those sacrifices on the personal front. And that's where management of people by the wealth creators become very important. And that's what, if you can deliver in the organization, which is growing very fast, that you are able to motivate your teams and you are able to lead the teams and you are able to get them to work extra hours and go that extra mile for the company, you will be an amazing creator of abundance, not just for the company, but for yourself also. And that's what I want you to realize, that your single skill after campus that will be required is how well you are able to ignite the passion in the teams and lead those teams, make them do things that you want them to do and bring in the efficiencies in perfect execution. So all concepts are with you. तुमने सब में A grade बना लिया does not mean that tomorrow you are going to become a great leader. No. Now think about that. And that's why it is very important that the last lecture, that those skills, 30 skills, please go through that lecture, because those skills, how to develop, nobody has taught you on the campus. And the fact is that those skills are what are going to develop a future for you. What you have learned on campus are the must-have knowledge. So that is what is needed. So knowledge is like ingredients for cooking. But the last lecture I gave you is the fire. Without fire, you can't cook anything. But how to create that fire, you will have to, unfortunately, start doing yourself and start training yourself. And this assignment that you will be doing here will help you hone all those skills. प्रेजेंटेशन 2 मिनट का वीडियो अगर बिजनेस आइडिया का बनाना है आपने और आपको सेल करना है वेंचर कैपिटलिस्ट को, तो तुम्हारा कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स तो टेस्ट हो गया। You don't get more than 2 minutes. When the pitches are there, and then there's so uske basis pe, then you are called for the next round. So how impactful you create that 2 minutes video, जब आप बनाओगे तो आपको पता चलेगा that how much better you become as a wealth creator yourself, right? So starting with people, focusing on creating that emotional connect. And the second is always keep competition in mind and the consumer needs in mind. When you have these two things in mind, then the only challenge that you have is how you can come out with the unique propositions, unique value creation propositions for your consumers. So if you focus on only these two things, you are done. And the third, of course, is the Trinity. Some of my students know we have done it in the last semester. And this is a comprehensive, fail-safe strategy. And three things that you continue. Innovation should be a habit. Now, if you look at any business, there's a product, there's a market, there's a method of manufacturing, there's a raw material, there's a way of procuring that raw material, there's a way of making that raw material into finished product. Now, in each of these cycles, having identified them, which are the areas you can innovate? Okay, in the areas that I work, chemistry, the same molecule you can make with 3-4 different routes of synthesis. For me, the area of innovation is, if I can make this in 5 steps, how can I make it in 2 steps? And people tell me, sir, it's not possible. And the same people come back after 3 months and say, it was possible. We didn't think about it. But you know what? Now that we are trying this out, this catalyst we have discovered, and now we can make it in 2 steps. Our cost of production has reduced by 30%. So innovation doesn't just come. You have to force yourself to think hard in any situation, then you will see innovation. Whatever you see around you, a bulb or a tube light or fan or AC or anything, has been a product which was sometimes in the imagination of someone, and then through innovation, through that passion he created, and you have it now, and you have taken it for granted that that's so simple product. Today people are talking about electric vehicles, and we discussed, we are taking electricity from the grid. You are talking about charging the electric vehicles using the same electricity. And there are already power shortages. Is that a real solution? Is that innovation? What is a good innovation? Is it sustainable? Suppose all of us today switch to electric vehicles. What is going to happen? Anyone?
So there will be shortage of electricity and excess of fuel.
You are going to be just, you're loading your grids. Everyone, power grids will be loaded.
Yes, sir.
So if humanity is looking for a solution, okay, to carbon emissions, then this is just a passing phase in the string of innovation, is something that I want you to realize as a wealth creator. Even though today you can make money out of it, but it's an idea which is going to be like BlackBerry. Its time will come. Okay, so that's the reason. Which are the new technologies people are talking about? If you've been reading up, that's another entrepreneurial skill. Huh? awareness, information, reading. What are the technologies that are coming in which are greener energies? Anyone?
So hydrogen fuel.
Hydrogen fuel. Anything else? In batteries? Anyone has been reading up?
There are lithium-ion batteries. There are solid-state batteries also, which are coming.
Which
Sodium batteries. Coming.
Our own IOC has come up with aluminum.
Yeah, sir. Those are the solid batteries. Solid metal, metal batteries. Liquid metal batteries.
Now, see that's one thing, one example of which innovation is going to be sustainable, right? Which innovation will create businesses that are sustainable, and which ideas will have a life cycle which is short. They will do business, they will make profit, but are they sustainable or not as a wealth creator? Now, this is what I'm saying. If you hone your skills in that area, it's not very difficult. You should be able to come out with lots of your own, when I'm asking our interactions. But then coming up, therefore, with an idea of anything related to electric vehicles is only going to have a time deadline. But if you come up something which is based on other technologies and you start looking up and reading up, not only you will become aware of what else is happening in the area of innovation and how these innovations are going to impact our lives in 10 years or 5 years, right? You will be feeling thrilled once that empowerment comes in. Okay, you will not be the same again. So all I'm saying is innovation should become a habit. Thinking about innovation should become a habit. Which innovation? Evaluating an innovation should become a habit. Okay, if you want to accelerate faster tomorrow in the corporate world. Thinking, evaluating, and executing. These three capabilities and quick responding. Please try and acquire these skills, these virtues. Okay, they're not very difficult to get. Just start reading up. If you go to YouTube, which is my favorite pastime, I just type which are the next 10 technologies which are going to change the way we live. And you will see a stream of videos. A lot of them coming from the US, universities, etc. On solar panels, what are the new technologies coming up? You'll see. And, very, I love doing that. How people have created now solar panels on films, and how on the rooftops, you can just have these films, which are like polyester films. And new solar panels are not going to be the same. How they are creating light out of windows, glasses, right? So already these, and then the houses are feeding power to the grid. The entire electricity connections and networks, etc., in these developed countries, at least like Germany, Japan, they have changed. India is still far behind. Okay, now those are some of the areas I can tell you. If you thought of a business idea and created a startup, man, you will be a millionaire in 5 years. I don't think that, you are a very blessed generation where the technology and innovations are going so fast. A lot of you are engineers. All you got to do is just maybe think in those areas. Money is now easily available is something that I want to tell you. If you are having the passion to create a business around an idea which is very futuristic, and you create a team with competencies that are required to scale up that business idea, I can tell you money is very easily available. Samay Kohli, Grey Orange Robotics. Year was 2011. From BITS Pilani, we call it Angel Investors Network, Spark Angels, BITS Pilani. I went to evaluate him. He was in a rented place in Delhi, Mayapuri, industrial area. Just 2,000 square feet where he was assembling robots. Robots that were programmed to go to the storage box, storage, those big almiras kind of thing they have, in the warehouses. And it could just pull out the packages as it was programmed and bring it and leave it on the packaging assembly line. That's all the robots did. And they were asking for some 1.5 CR at that time for a 12% stake in the company. 2011. It's 10 years later. This company raised 6 months ago $30 million in the US. The turnover is about 1,200 crores now, supplying these robots to all e-commerce warehousing companies. 10 years. Samay Kohli himself is about worth 5,000 crores. Engineer, automation, one single competency he had. That's it. Develop the product for an industry that was growing. Amazon was growing. Who got him into Amazon? We, the investors. Why? Because you become part of an ecosystem where these Silicon Valley people, they invested. Bloom Ventures, that was founded here, we invested through Bloom Ventures. So initial money came, and then product improvements had to be done. They succeeded in product improvements. How did they get help? They got help from the angel networks. People who had invested also were robotic experts. They wanted them to succeed. So technology came to them free. All they had to do is they had a lot of gurus now who had also invested in them. All that they wanted was to find people who had passion to succeed. Once they found that team, and then they built employees under them, and they invested. Now they wanted them to succeed. अब सबका पैसा लगा है. Sir, क्या करें? Order नहीं मिल रहे. चलो आओ, make a trip to US. They go to US. Amazon में 3 मीटिंग हो गई. eBay में मीटिंग हो गई. It never happened with me when I was starting my business. But today you see this ecosystem that has been created is very friendly, very conducive to make people succeed. If you have the desire to succeed, that's all that is needed. One, you must have one competency. And second is desire to succeed. Everything else, I've seen it happening, and it's happened in so many different businesses that ma'am and me, we have been part of. Raghu of Taxi for Sure, who sold his company for some 850 crores that time. 7 years, long story, that's about it. 7 years, man sold his company for 850 crores. So, welcome to this new world where this world is only looking at great problem solvers who have the passion to succeed. That's it. Everything else you will get help with. The ecosystem have been developed where finding the customer also people help you with. Getting the orders also get the people help you with. And of course, grooming you to succeed also people help you with. Coaching, mentoring, people help you with. Prime Minister has created Atal Incubation Center where you get seed capital also to create prototypes. People help you with. Aur kya chahiye? But why this is happening is because the population of job seekers in our country far exceeds the jobs that the industry is today creating. And the numbers are alarming. A bad news for you also, therefore, that even if you've gotten jobs now, the fact is, if you see in future, a lot of people are getting replaced, and you are the guys who are creating those algorithms, and you are the guys who are creating those robots, and you are the guys who are creating alternative technologies that are going to be replacing people, and new people is you also. So the only genre of professionals that's going to have a 100% guaranteed life of abundance are the people who are going to be job creators. This you can take it in writing from me. Everything else is, and the rate of acceleration of these disruptions and technologies is becoming very, very concerning. Last week, I had one of the brilliant students, I don't know name, but just maybe 35, 36 years, prime of his career, suddenly received, please, 3 months you have, find yourself something. 2 kids, EMIs, and very brilliant on campus. Married, wife gave up job 3 years ago because of the second child that came in. This guy was in his prime, fantastic career. Age is 36 only. Unfortunately, in an area which is easily replaceable. And the biggest problem is that anywhere else he goes, now people are saying that, you accept 50% of the salary. He has an option, but at 50% less. Today is 2022. What do you think about these trends? They are only going to catch up. Okay, so if I was you, I would really take this whole challenge of thinking like a wealth creator, honing my skills as a wealth creator, because no matter what technologies come out, you will always need a business idea generator. You'll always need a person who will create that business. You'll always need that person who will create teams to succeed. You'll always need a person who will plan out in different phases, expansion and scale up of that business. You'll always need that person who will deploy the capital profitably of a company in a new business. And you will never have to face these challenges that come up and will come up more and more as we grow into the future. Therefore, the first 1, 2, 3 is people learn to create the emotional connect with these nerve centers, learn to always be ahead in creating unique strengths in your business through innovation, strategic cost leadership, and service excellence. These three capabilities are of wealth creator. Service excellence spoil the consumer. He has to miss you when he changes loyalties. And if you do that, you're conducting business in a way. And if you see all these Amazons, etc., everything, they give you 7 days to return, right? They're focusing on consumer experience. Every company that's leading any business segment is a company that's excelling in consumer experience today. So everything has become experience oriented, whether on digital or on physical or on phygital. Okay. And if you do this part of 1, 2, 3 here, what you create is a company that is amazing to work for, an ever-growing set of customers, and a competition that's always looking at you on what is going to be your new strategy. So you lead your competition. And that's what these big brands internationally, they do. They lead and competition follows. And of course, you create your sales and profits, which are ever growing. And if all this happens, the respect happens. So this 1, 2, 3 creates the 3, 2, 1. And that's what a wealth creator always does. So this is the most important backbone. And this slide is what creates backbone of any businesses. When you answer all those 6 questions in each of these areas. Okay. How to create unique strengths is, of course, when you're looking at each product and service and you look at competition as to what are the solutions that competition is providing. For pain point 1, solution 1, pain point 2, solution 2, pain point 3, solution 3. And when you in details analyze a competition, that is when, and substitutes, competition substitutes are included. That is when you will be able to think about unique selling propositions that you can bring into your business idea. Because that's what is needed to acquire customers. Otherwise, you will be just cutting down on pricing, lower prices. And any business that is designed to acquire customers by lowering the price, one day is going to shut down. So in future, the only success formula is a continuous habit of innovation to create, and strategic cost and service excellence to create these unique strengths in your offerings, in your value propositions. And that's what brings us to now the business canvas for the B plan. And this is what we used when we started with Bizorion in our e-cell, when we created entrepreneurship cell on JBIMS campus. And for 3 years, we were having Bizorion, which was an event which was held by the students. And they came up with business ideas, they presented their business ideas, and we used to have jury come in from industry to evaluate those business ideas. And then later on, of course, we've just suddenly found that the interest was lacking, because this whole thing was being driven by the part-time students. And somehow at that time, part-time students and full-time students, we could not get them to work together, but things have changed after that. And then, of course, we need more and more students and our own entrepreneurship cell to really continuously hold these kind of events year after year. Because then Corona came in and things became different. But then now we are trying to revive that culture of thinking about creating businesses. And we are, through this course, going to be delivering those competencies in you, and hope that you will be able to come out with your ideas successfully and create businesses in organizations that you go by using the same skills that get honed in the process, and or come out with your own business ideas whenever you want in your life. And a lot of students have come back, and we have examples that they have gone on to become very successful entrepreneurs, etc., who have been part of our campus. Okay, so it's not very difficult to create your own businesses, but it's also not intended that you only create your own businesses. All that we want is that you think like a wealth creator, whether for yourself or for the company that you are joining, right? And those skills must become a part of your personality, and those competencies must come to you with just subconscious competence, as I call it, right? That anybody knows that, hey, this Mr. So-and-so is very good at, so let me run my ideas with him. So whatever position you are holding, you create a brand image of yourself as a business analyst, and what will make those businesses succeed. And you are able to identify all those critical areas that will make or break a business. That's all is just the intention of this course. Okay. And now that's where the importance of this business canvas also comes in. Right. Can I ask you all to just turn on your videos once? So this is the last attendance we are going to have. Please turn on the videos, guys. Can we have
Yes,
all,
sir. I've taken.
let's have all the videos turned on. Any questions you have in the meantime, please let me know.
So will you be sharing
Yes, sir.
the slides with us?
Guys, turn on the videos.
Sir, I've taken the attendance.
Okay. Now let's go back to that screen. So we start with whatever business idea that you think of as a group, start with the value proposition. Okay. What are the pain points you identify? Okay. And what are the proposed solutions? Right. Go to the next, sorry, which is, yeah. So key competencies of the team. Now, this is very important because every business requires that the promoters have some competencies. Okay. In your class, this should not be difficult because all of you are engineers or experts in management, etc. So there will be some key competencies that you will all possess. And whatever key competencies that are required for this proposed solution, okay, you will either try to hire or try to find co-promoters or investors who will also help you in scaling up that business. Okay, so this is the first chapter, second chapter, and then third is competitors analysis. What is the competition doing? And what are their USPs? Okay, and what are their weaknesses? Where are they located? Are they in India, abroad, or in India, where, etc. Okay. So then this third chapter, this will give you some insights in creating how you can create your USPs. Fourth is the market segments that exist for that value proposition. What are the profile of those customers in each of those market segments, geographical locations I'm talking about here. Okay. And which product segments, you can do pricing, place, promotion, all the P's of marketing, and what USPs you can create in them. And then the next is, of course, which are the key channels, where you have communication channels, distribution channels, procurement channels, funding channels, if there are any other, digital marketing channels, your digital platforms, etc., that are going to be important for that business. So they will come in this chapter. And then how you will create emotional connect with these nerve centers of your business is something that you need to do the micro detailing on, right? And what are the key activities in that business that are make or break activities? So every business has certain activities that become very key to that business, right? So like recently we had Corona, and so many e-commerce platforms for medicine deliveries, etc., they came up, and then suddenly that physical distancing and everything that changed and created new opportunities for a lot of e-commerce companies, not just in medicines, but the key activity was prescriptions, how prescriptions are quickly made out. And if you've experienced with 1mg, they were helping people get prescriptions also, those people who didn't have prescriptions. And that became a key activity. I'm just giving you an example of every business. When it has to be scaled up, there are some activities that become key, right? So you have to identify and micro detail those activities that make or break that business, right? The more focus, and these are also activities that will create a fantastic, unique strength in your business, right? And then, of course, what are the key challenges, right? So how do you face those challenges? So now in this itself, the challenge was, if the customer is trying to order the medicine now, how quickly the challenge is, in like 10 minutes, can a doctor call that person back and give out a prescription, right? So that is a challenge. Key resources, what are the key resources? So how quickly you can locate a nearest let's say medicine distributor who has that medicine, and you can give that prescription, and you can maybe pick up from there and deliver it to that, right? So what are those resources? Your storage places, right, that you can bank on. So just giving examples, key partners, these very people become your key partners. Are they 24 hours working or not? So can you deliver those medicines 24-hour basis or not? They become, if yes, then those people who are open 24 hours become your key partners. So in every business you have key partners. And then the risks are also there, whether the risks are whether right medicines get delivered, or substitutes are getting delivered, or some fake medicines are getting delivered, or those key risks, and how you mitigate those risks. So it's a very simple, these are the 12 areas that you need to really do micro detailing on. The finer is your details, the better is going to be your business plan. And then, of course, below this are all financials. So those of you who are in finance, they understand it. Even otherwise, other people, like how you will, scale up your business, you must have year-wise plan, how much capital you will need, how much working capital you need, your revenue streams, which are going to be your different streams of revenues, year-wise profit out of that, and cost. Here is the cost, how your cost is again two types, capital and revenue costs. So how you are going to be planning it, year-wise. So that's the stage-wise profit growth. Now, that's all there is to actually business canvas, and these are the areas that I would like you to think in. So next session, I'm going to stop the recording here. Next session what we will do is we will make groups before that, and I want you to come up with business ideas. So you have 1 week to think of a business idea and create groups. If you have any questions, first of all, let's create a WhatsApp group for all people, and we will discuss one-on-one questions. I'm available one-on-one also for this particular work. If you need any guidance in thinking or conceiving or finalizing a business idea, just call me, give me a missed call or a message on WhatsApp is better so that I can come back to you. But we can do one-on-one counseling, we can do one-on-one guiding, but I look forward to your commitment to create a world-class presentation in April. Whenever that date gets decided, we'll convey it to you. Okay, any questions?